Hi, good morning. Today, or afternoon, I guess. Today I'm going to be making una salsa en molcajete. These are the ingredients. I have some red tomatoes, some green tomatillos, some yellow, I think they're called like yellow peppers or something, and then some chile serranos. I have 2 garlic cloves, and I'm just waiting for them to toast. I got this recipe off of a YouTube video. If anybody's interested, I'll add the name. So you just have to constantly be watching your veggies, turning them very slowly, and just making sure that they toast evenly on all the sides. They want to get kind of soft because you're going to be squishing them later. So yeah, and I didn't take off the stems because Mo Money, that's her name, she recommends that you take the stems off at the very, very end. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been making molcajete salsas for a while. I love molcajete salsa. I think it's like my favorite. But definitely it's easier if you just leave the stems on and then you take them off at the end. Here we have the garlic, and this is my molcajete. It's my mom's. You're just going to squish that really well. It smells really good. Very, very cooked. And you're just going to crush it as much as you can. I said like squish so many times in the previous little video. Is there a technique for this? I don't know. I just tend to kind of push down and then just roll around. And then if you want to crush more, you just kind of push on it and then you just, again, roll around. And you're going to want your salt handy because you're going to add as you're mixing. Okay, so once you're done crushing your chilies, your yellow and your serrano, it's going to look something like this. So it does take a little bit of elbow grease, even though they're cooked. You still have to squish them so there's not going to, depends how, crushed you want them. I'm just going to do one at a time and see if I can move on to maybe 2 at a time. Be like big chunks like this one right here, so you want to make sure you get all those shredded as much as possible. And you could cut this up and put it in here, but the whole point is that you're making a molcajete and you want to do it crushed, instead of perfectly fined or trimmed or whatever. For flavor, it's up to you what you want it, how salty you want your salsa to be. We add the red tomatoes. See how they're cooked? Some of the skins even started falling off. I left it on a little too long. Well, we're going to go ahead and add that to our mixture, and the salsa should be ready. So I think another reason it's good to leave the red tomatoes till last is because by the time you get to this step, the molcajete is like pretty much full. So when you add the red tomato, they're literally just going to fall apart because they've been cooked so long. And then you just blend it together. But look at those colors. That's looking real good. I really like it. I also got some tortillas, if you want to do chips, or you can dip your tortilla in here. Really tasty. Smokiness of all the ingredients, and it's going to give it this really good flavor. But for the chilies and all that, I did crush them very finely because I don't know, I don't really like taste a big chunk of chili, but I'm okay with the tomatoes. So this is what it looks like, and then you see the little specks. That was done and taste it. And then you just want to mix it together. You can use a spoon at this point, but this is what it should look like. Again, it depends on you how crushed you want the items to be, but since it is a molcajete, you want to have a little bit of chunk. So our molcajete is done. I'm going to go ahead and add some salt. Typically, people will take the palm of their hand and then just add whatever fits, just like the palm of your hand right there. But I don't use that much salt, so I'm just going to sprinkle it on. This meal's not complete without some rice, so I'm just waiting on it to dry. I washed it this morning, and I'm just waiting. Also making some beans. I've been making the beans I don't really have to do much. You just literally put them in a pot to boil, and you see how it's kind of like they're peeking through. That means you need to add more water. So you want to constantly be adding water to your beans. And that's another reason I kind of like to make them at the same time I'm making my salsa if I'm making beans, because you can keep a good eye on them. All right, back to the beans. This is how they should look like. They should be fully engulfed in the water. I'm not going to add more salt until they're done cooking, and then I'll add the rest of the salt just because you're constantly adding water. I did add salt at the beginning, but given that I've added about like 2 cups of water since they've started cooking, it's not going to taste as, you know, flavorful. We got the grill instructor here. He's going to go ahead and taste our salsa for today with a chip. Give us his honest opinion. What do you taste?
Real good.
Is it spicy or okay?
Spicy.
All right. So over there we got Brian. How do you call it? I think it's called like I don't know, but he's like making the meat thinner. So it's chicken breast, and then we have some carne asada. And then lastly, we're going to be making a guacamole, but I'll probably wait a little later to make this just because I don't want it to turn, I don't know, I want to have its full potential flavor once we're closer to the meat. Okay, lastly, we're going to start with our rice, or at least what I'm going to be cooking right now. So a lot of people cook their rice differently. I'm just going to make it the way my mom taught me. But I mean, there's so many ways to cook your rice. Okay, so this is the chicken bouillon. You can use the caldo con sabor de pollo, or you can use just the tomato flavored one. And here we have the blender, a little bit more than half of water, the 3 tomatoes, and the chicken bouillon. Okay, so again, it's very differently how people make their rice, but basically my mom just chops up like 3 tomatoes. We put it in a blender, and then we just use chicken bouillon and water. You can add as many tomatoes as you want. It just depends how much rice you're making. So now we're gonna blend. So in a pot, you're gonna take a little bit of oil. Usually people use like Masola brand, like corn oil, but I only have olive oil, which is usually how my mom makes the rice anyway. And you're going to put your dried up rice in your pot, and you're just going to keep an eye on it and continuously keep stirring it until it turns golden brown. Before you add the sauce, make sure you taste it. I've lowered the heat all the way to low. The rice looks pretty brown, and I'm going to go ahead and add the sauce. Again, the chicken bouillon is kind of like the salt for the rice. Cover this and just let it cook on its own, and that's it. And I'll show you guys once the rice is done. Oh my gosh, so it smells so good. The kitchen is full of flavor right now. I'm gonna peek. You're not supposed to peek. That's like the essential rule of this rice making recipe, or at least that's what my mom says. Who knows? Ooh, that looks pretty ready to me. Yep. This is something that I kind of do. I know you don't really need to do this, or they don't encourage you to do this. But I like to mix the sauce at the top with the rest of the rice once it's cooked. And yes, it is cooked. Make sure you check on your rice. I was saying, my mom taught Brian and I how to make a more efficient use of our chicken breast when it has the bone in, instead of, you know, taking out the bones. She taught us how to slit it in half and then cut slits, and then just I have to look up what the name is, but you use this hammer tool to soften your meat to make it thinner and easier to cook, because when you're grilling, you don't really want like big thick pieces because it's going to take forever to cook. But yeah, she taught us that. And then right now I'm just going to go ahead and season it with the Cajun. I already seasoned the little legs. These are more like appetizers, like we like to eat these. And then the chicken breast is like our main meal, and then just like a little bit of beef. We're more chicken people. All right, so all I did was put my chicken legs in here, and then I sprinkled some of this. You can also add the seasoning first and then add your meat, but it tastes good either way. I don't know where my mom got this one, but she tends to find like the best seasoning, her and my dad. And then, well, Lori's, I've always loved using Lori's. Lori's is just so good with. So now we're going to make the guacamole. This one's really, really fast and really easy. It's just a bit of chopping. So I've gone ahead and sliced in half 5 avocados, and I'm going to go ahead and put all the avocado in a bowl, and I'm just going to smash it. Finally, chop your onions and your tomatoes and your cilantros and 1 serrano pepper, and then mix it all together with a little bit of lime, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, and this is the finished product. I just added a little bit of lemon, these kind of lemon from like my dad's tree. And then just mix it together. We just gotta add some salt. I add a little bit of pepper. And then those brown things are the pits from the avocado, and that just kind of helps to maintain the color of the avocado so it doesn't turn brown. All right, so we got the grill instructor out here getting the fire ready. We're gonna have him taste the rice.
Delicious.
Not too salty?
Not too salty.
Anybody was wondering, this is what the grill instructor's apron says. It says grill instructor, it says matches, beer, and then it says phone, and then it has like mustard, and it says it's all smoke and beers. And then it has, you know, your chicken, your pork, and your beef, and then it has a bottle opener, and then it says ketchup and grills gone wild. So if anybody was wondering, that's what it says, and I actually picked this up for him at Target, and I gave it to him as a Valentine's Day gift. We got some cute content for you guys. This is little Teeks. He's my little kitten. Well, he's not really a kitten. It's going to be his birthday soon. We're going to throw him a little fiesta. Right, Teeks? He's been complaining the whole time because he wants to be in the action. He loves to see when I cook. Huh, Tiki? Oh, yeah. There's the spot. He needs some cuddles. All right, so here we have our cute little setup that I did for Brian and I. Real cute. So this is what our plates look like. We got the size right there. Our last egg.